Trust. We hand it out every day, often without a second thought. We trust the people who have access to our homes, superintendents, handymen, the ones with the keys. But what if that trust is weaponized? What if the person meant to protect you is the source of danger? This isn't a horror movie. It's the real story of Parkview Tower and its superintendent, Victor Rios. Sometimes, the most dangerous threats wear a friendly smile and carry a master key. The system designed for our safety can be twisted into a tool for control, and even death. We rarely question the people with access to our lives, assuming they're vetted and trustworthy. But as you'll see, those assumptions can be fatal. The story of Victor Rios is a wake-up call. Our safety often depends on strangers we're simply told to trust. For women, especially those living alone, the relationship with a superintendent is a forced vulnerability. This man has a key to your home, knows your schedule, and whether you live alone. Society tells women to be cautious, but then requires them to trust a stranger with total access. Complaints about discomfort or boundary crossing are often brushed off to avoid awkwardness. The power imbalance is immense, making genuine consent in this relationship murky. Victor Rios thrived in this environment, exploiting the expectation that he was a protector. The betrayal is devastating. The guard becomes the orchestrator of danger. Rios used his unassuming demeanor to manipulate a system that puts women in a position of inherent trust. This wasn't random. It was calculated exploitation of a vulnerability built into apartment living. The story of Victor Rios is about how predators use trust as their greatest weapon, and how women are forced to navigate a landscape of unseen risk in their own homes. Victor Rios was the perfect superintendent. Quiet, reliable, invisible. He blended into the background, never drawing suspicion. With master keys and access to every corner of Parkview Tower, he held immense power. Over 2 years, a series of accidents struck the building. Media group, emergency responders attending to stairwell accident in apartment building, paramedics in apartment hallway, asthma inhaler dropped on stairwell landing, stock distribute, and equally, a fatal fall, an asthma attack, a death by smoke inhalation. Each was ruled a coincidence. Tragedies in a big building. No one suspected Victor, the man who filed the reports and offered condolences. He was always there, always helpful, always trusted. But in hindsight, a disturbing pattern emerged. Victor wasn't just a witness, he was the architect. The quiet man with the keys had begun to lock the doors, turning safety into a trap. The illusion of safety shattered one October night when a small fire broke out. Maya Chen, living on the 10th floor, followed evacuation protocol, only to find the stairwell doors sealed shut. Trapped, she raced up and down, every door bolted from the other side. Smoke filled the stairwell. Her cries for help went unheard. In desperation, she smashed a window with her keychain, screaming for help. A firefighter heard her and led a rescue team to break through and save her. Maya survived, but her first words were, "Why are the doors locked?" Her escape exposed a terrifying truth. The accidents were no longer accidents. The sealed doors were not a malfunction, they were a trap. Maya's ordeal forced investigators to see the building as a crime scene. The pattern was undeniable. The quiet superintendent's mask was slipping. The nightmare was real. And the truth was finally coming to light. Investigators discovered the stairwell doors had been deliberately sealed with heavy-duty bolts. Victor Rios's method was chillingly simple. Use his knowledge and access to turn safety features into death traps. He targeted women living alone, creating minor emergencies to trigger evacuations. As residents fled, he ensured the nearest stairwell to his target was sealed. Victims were funneled into a vertical coffin, trapped, unable to escape. The previous deaths now made sense. Panic, smoke, and locked doors did the killing. Rios engineered situations where natural causes masked his role. He didn't need a weapon, just a drill, some bolts, and the trust of his tenants. The building's design became his accomplice, and the system's blind faith in him let it happen. To prove Rios's guilt, investigators turned to digital evidence. Electronic key logs showed his card accessing the sealed stairwells and electrical rooms before each incident. There was no maintenance reason for him to be there at those times. In his office, detectives found blueprints marked with victims' apartments and evacuation paths, predators' maps. Security footage caught him carrying tools to the stairwells on the night of Maya's escape. The same hardware was found in his workshop. The digital logs, blueprints, and video created an undeniable timeline. Rios's quiet routine was exposed as methodical murder. The evidence was overwhelming. The trusted superintendent was unmasked as a killer. The tragedy could have been prevented. There were warnings. Female tenants reported Rios's boundary-crossing behavior, but complaints were dismissed as overreactions. Management brushed off concerns, treating women's unease as paranoia. Each complaint was ignored, reinforcing Rios's sense of invincibility. The system prioritized convenience over safety, enabling his escalation. Gender bias blinded management to a clear pattern of predatory behavior. The failure wasn't just Rios's, it was a systemic refusal to listen to women. Dismissing intuition created the perfect hiding place for a predator. What's the lesson here? Not to suspect everyone, but to trust your instincts. That gut feeling, especially for women, has always been a survival tool. Maya Chen survived because she listened to her instincts. Many others were silenced by self-doubt and social pressure to be polite. We must stop second-guessing our internal alarms. Instinct is valid data, a warning system we're taught to ignore. Ask questions, demand accountability, and don't apologize for prioritizing your safety. Your sense of unease is information, not paranoia. Ignoring it can be fatal. Listening to it can save your life. This isn't just about one evil man, it's about the systems that let him operate. Safety can't be a passive assumption, it must be an active demand. We need environments where raising concerns is seen as responsible, not troublesome. Management must create clear, responsive channels for reporting and investigating safety issues. Accountability and transparency are essential. Collective action, tenants uniting, turns individual anxiety into real change. Protecting yourself and your neighbors is not being a nuisance, it's being responsible. Let this story be a catalyst. Check your exits, talk to neighbors, ask hard questions. If your instincts warn you, listen and speak up. Demanding safety is not paranoia, it's your right. Defending that right is an act of power.